Good evening. It's Sunday the 27th of November and it's time for the news on RIK2. As efforts continue in the UN-led peace talks on Cyprus next week, government spokesman Nikos Christodoulidis has said that differences are not insurmountable. In an interview with Sunday's Bolidis newspaper, Christodoulidis also expressed belief that the differences, as recorded in Montpellier, Switzerland last week, were the result of the policy followed by the Turkish side. That is, he explained, the insistence by the Turkish side to connect an issue of substance, such as territory, with that of guarantees. Christodoulidis also made clear the key to the Cyprus problem settlement is with Turkey and that it is up to Ankara to make the attempted goal, which is the divided island's reunification, a success. In the meantime, the focal point now is the return to the island tonight of the UN Secretary-General Special Advisor on Cyprus, Espanbarth Ida. British and US officials will also be visiting Cyprus in the coming days. Ida will be received by President Nikos Anastasiadis early tomorrow, and later on he will have a meeting with Turkish Cypriot leader Mustafa Kemal. The two leaders have been engaged in negotiations since May 2015 under UN aegis. The latest round of intensive talks at Montpellier ended inconclusively late on Monday, and since then both leaders have said they wish to resume the dialogue to find a negotiated settlement. Greek Foreign Minister Nikos Gotchas has said that the withdrawal of Turkish troops from northern Cyprus the soonest possible and the abolition of the anachronistic status of guarantees is a must behind the Cyprus problem solution. In an interview with Alpha FM in Athens only days after UN-brokered Cyprus talks were suspended without agreement in Montpellier, Switzerland, Gotchas also said that the substance of the Cyprus problem is northern Cyprus's occupation by Turkish troops. Greece, along with Turkey, which invaded Cyprus in 1974, and Britain, are the island's guarantors with a right to intervention since its independence in 1960. Athens and London have made clear they no longer wish to maintain that role in a reunited federal Cyprus, in contrast to Ankara's position. Two former French prime ministers went head-to-head today in a runoff vote for France's centre-right presidential nomination, with the victor expected to face a showdown against a resurgent far-right in May. The winner, either Françoise Fillon or Hélène Juppé, will most likely represent the entire French political mainstream against the National Front's Marine Le Pen. This is yet another test of the anti-establishment anger in Western countries that saw Britain vote to leave the EU and Americans elect Donald Trump as president. Opinion polls show Fillon, a social conservative with a deep attachment to France's Catholic roots, as the clear favourite after stunning his more centrist challenger with a surge in support just before the November 20th party nomination first round. Pollsters say the winner of the centre-right primary will be the favourite to enter the Élysée Palace, likely to place in the top two alongside Le Pen in a first round in April and defeat her in a runoff in May. While polls show either Fillon or Juppé would beat Le Pen, Juppé would do so by a more comfortable margin. From the Bay of Pigs invasion to a historic visit by President Barack Obama to Havana, Cubans have known for generations that whenever the United States turns its face to Cuba, Fidel Castro would be staring right back. But the death of El Comandante has added to worries among Cubans that U.S. President-elect Donald Trump will slam the door shut on nascent trade and travel ties, undoing 2 years of detente between the estranged neighbors. Trump has struck a very different tone from Obama, who reached an agreement 2 years ago with Castro's younger brother, President Raul Castro, to end half a century of hostilities. Late in the election campaign, Trump sought to reassure the Cuban-American vote in Florida that he was firm in his opposition to the Castros and pledged that if elected, he would close down the newly reopened U.S. embassy in Havana. Earlier on in the primaries, he said he thought restoring diplomatic ties with Cuba was fine, but that Obama ought to have cut a better deal. Having won the presidency, it is hard to know what Trump's approach to Cuba will be. The Syrian army today said it had taken control of the second residential district of the rebel-held eastern part of Aleppo city in 2 days. The army also said in a statement it and its allies had taken full control of the Jabal Badro district, which is next to the Hanano residential district taken by the army yesterday. Neither area was heavily populated, but the advance, accompanied by Russian and Syrian airstrikes, has raised fears among the insurgents that the northern part of East Aleppo could be cut off from the southern part. That would weaken their control over the east and bring more residents closer to front lines. Capturing all of Aleppo would be a major victory for Syrian President Bashar al-Assad after 5.5 years of fighting. And now a look at tomorrow's weather. Partly cloudy skies with light to moderate northeasterly to southeasterly winds, force 3 to 4. The sea will be slight to moderate. Temperatures will rise to 22 Celsius in the west coast, 21 inland and in all other coastal areas, and 10 over the mountains. The fire hazard is high in all forest areas. That's all from us here. Join us tomorrow for more news in English. Have a very good evening.